Snow glows white on the mountain tonight, not a footprint to be seen. A kingdom of isolation, and it looks like I'm the queen. The wind is howling like this swirling storm inside. Couldn't keep it in, heaven knows I tried. Don't let them in, don't let them see. Be the good girl you always have to be. Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know. Well, now they know. Let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. Let it go, let it go. Turn away and slam the door. I don't care what they're going to say. Let the storm rage on. The cold never bothered me anyway. It's funny how some distance makes everything seem small. And the fears that once controlled me can't get to me at all. It's time to see what I can do to test the limits and break through. No right, no wrong, no rules for me. I'm free. Let it go, let it go. I am one with the wind and sky. Let it go, let it go. You'll never see me cry. Here I stand, and here I'll stay. Let the storm rage on. My power flurries through the air into the ground. My soul is spiraling in frozen fractals all around. And one thought crystallizes like an icy blast. I'm never going back. The past is in the past. Let it go, let it go. I don't rise like the break of dawn. Let it go, let it go. That perfect girl is gone. Here I stand in the light of a day. Let the storm rage on. The cold never bothered me anyway. Yeah.
So I'm going to talk to you today about letting go. And I'm so grateful to Summer for singing us this amazing song that she had learned to put on in a play this same month, actually, and the whole show got postponed in the Hamilton theaters. They were going to do Frozen right in the middle of this wonderful season, but they postponed it. There's a scripture from John's Gospel when they're looking back from Easter, and they gather up these sayings from Jesus, and they say that there's this theology that God will give you a truth, and it will be a counselor who will be with you forever, and it'll be the Spirit of truth. And it's this idea to think about truth and what it means and what the Spirit could be, and what does it mean if we try to tell the truth, and what does it mean to let go? We have this routine in my family. We get up early, and we like to meditate and do some yoga and pray. And every morning we try to do this when we first get up. This morning, we had to cancel our plans. And what happened, instead of our having the chance to get up and meditate and pray, was that there was this very noisy bird out in the tree, and it's the Baltimore Oriole. And he just got back last week when the pear tree was full of blossoms, and the Baltimore Oriole likes to eat a slice of orange. He likes a half of an orange put in his tree, and the lady Oriole likes it too, and they like a fresh orange every morning. And I heard them singing away in the tree, and the chance to put out a fresh orange for them was like, oh, this is great. I'm going to go get them an orange, and then we'll meditate and we'll pray. And looked in the fridge, no oranges. Like, look in the drawers, no oranges. We were like, oh no, we have to go to the market. So we get out our masks, get out our keys, rush over to the market to buy an orange for the Oriole and cut it in half and put it in the tree. And then the Oriole stands in the tree and he says, do it, teetotal. And you know all is right with the world, with the Oriole. When we think about this scripture, that God will give us another counselor to be with us forever, a spirit of truth. It calls us to think about different ways of the human person's relationship to truth. And I'm very interested in this, that the bird has his or her own truth, or the bird has their own truth. It's the truth that they like to eat in the morning, and they like to eat what they want. And for the Oriole, it's an orange. And other birds eat all kinds of other things. And there's a kind of an impatience and an urgency to it, which I love. And in the scripture, there are these truths that we relate to as we think about the Spirit calling us to this orientation around truth, and this counselor that God gives us who will help us be in the truth. Of course, one part of the truth is the beauty that there's a bird in a tree. There's this truth that when we live in the world, that we get to walk in it, and we get to realize there's all different kinds of ecosystems, and they're all extraordinary. There's the frogs in the pond singing this week, and the painted turtles have just started to sun themselves, and they slide into the pond when you pass them. And the robins are building their nests, and everybody's busy. And there's the truth, too, as we walk through this era when we've all stayed home so much more, and there's so much less fuel being spent, that the sky is so much clearer than it used to be. And you can hear the birds so much more than you used to. Perhaps you're spending more time sitting out on your deck, if you have one, if you're lucky enough to have a way to hear nature. The part of the truth as we slow down is that there's this beauty, this exquisite, painful, glorious beauty in the world. And there's a truth in beauty and in the radiance of the beautiful planet that we get to be a part of. And then, as well as there being a truth in beauty, there's a truth in pain. And I was talking with a member of the church today who just found out that her mother has COVID, and she found out just before Mother's Day, and it's this incredible pain for her to worry about her mom. And that's been the case for so many of us here in Ipswich, to find out that loved ones have COVID or that we ourselves have it, And I find in my work now that I just keep my robe hanging right by my front door because I live across the street from the graveyard, one block up, and I find I need it all the time to put it on and walk up to the graveyard to pray with people as we bury them. And it's this kind of strange new world that I find myself in as a minister, and that I think all of us in this neighborhood find ourselves in, where it's so many more funerals than we used to be, but we're Zooming them, or we're 10 feet away in the graveyard, or we're isolated. It's crazy. The truth of the world is both that it's so beautiful and that it's so painful right now. And also for Summer, whose play didn't go up. She practiced it, she was ready, and then they couldn't do it. And for everyone who's an actor right now, there's no theater going up. For people who are basketball players, there's no basketball. For people who want to work, there's not much work, and that's heartbreaking. And there's this pain that's also in the truth. And that's hard. And then there's this third kind of truth in the world, too, I think that God calls us to face and know and be in the reality of, which is that we have this chance to serve each other, right? We have this way to bring groceries to our neighbors, or to stand at the grocery counter if that's where we work and be compassionate to people and help them have what they need, or to be a doctor or a nurse or someone who cleans the hospital, to be of service to each other that way, to paint a stone and put it on our neighbor's step, to ask someone how they are as they walk by. Perhaps their shoulders are bent. We have this chance to be of service in the truth, which is a new chance because it's ever so much more needed than it was. There's that part of truth too. And as we think about all these layers of this spirit of truth that God sends us, to live in the truth and to be part of the truth and to be in the thick of the truth, this counselor who will be with us forever, who's the spirit of truth, we have this way in some ways to glorify God by telling the truth. And every chance we have, when we could lie or we could speak our truth, when we step up and take a deep breath and tell the truth instead of lying, it's this brilliant, beautiful way to be in God's love and light and to glorify the one who made us. It's a funny time, really, when so many of us are trying to spend more time outdoors if we can, with our masks on and respecting our neighbors, but loving how beautiful it is. And then so many of us are trying to come to terms with all the things we have to let go, not only of work and shows and commitments, but even of people we love, or even our own lives. And then this chance to be serving each other too, where we're right here offering love and grace and peace and presence, even from 6 feet away or further. All these chances to think about truth with this beautiful counselor of truth who will be with us forever, which is this gift, this holy gift that comes to us out of the universe, out of God's golden heart of goodness and love. So that Oriole, who we fed this morning, well, in the tree this afternoon, now there are 4 Orioles, and they're eating those oranges like crazy. And it's a funny thing about an orange when you put it out for an Oriole, because after the Oriole's been eating it all day, it's all hollowed out. It's like a star. All you have left is the membrane. All the fruit, all the juicy parts of the nectar of the fruit are gone, and you just have this radiant star. I think our lives are kind of like that, and God's helping us make our lives like that, where we start with so much hope and promise and expectation, and we have so many plans, and we're so busy, and we appreciate things, and we're full, and then we have a lot of loss. And then there's somehow left in the middle of losing all our juicy parts, still this radiant, beautiful star, all chewed out and enjoyed by the Oriole, say. And that's part of the goodness, I think, of this spirit of truth working in us and through us and with us. That we get to let so much go, and then we get to have this funny echo left, which is just exactly enough. So the Oriole would say to us now, teep, teep, teetotal, do it, teetotal. And that will be enough.